Hello, dear participants. Good evening. Myself, Jose J, MFTI coordinator. Welcome to this career orientation webinar series in media and entertainment, organized by Media Village Film and Television Institute in association with St. Joseph College of Communication, Changanasheri. Let me introduce to the main attraction of the day, Rahul Nair. He is currently working as assistant professor in the Department of Animation in St. Joseph College's Communication for the last 6 years. And he is also working on various commercial projects and as a freelance character animator and 3D visualizer. Thank you for spending some time with us today. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Joseph. So a very good evening to all my friends. And the topic of this webinar is 3D animation. So with this webinar, I would like to give you an overview of 3D animation and what animation industry is all about. So let's start. Yeah, okay. So before starting the webinar, let me give you the definition of animation. So the dictionary meaning of animation is to evoke life. And that is exactly what we are trying to do with animation. We are going to transform the audience into a fantasy land that was only in their mind. But with the power of animation art form, we can do that. And dear friends, as you all know that we all grew up watching animations in films and TV, and also by playing games. And we all love to make animations of our own. Making animations or working in animation is an ultimately rewarding thing, because animation is the combination of all the art forms. You can take drawing, design, painting, sculpting, architecture, dance, music, acting. So animation is a kind of magical art form, because we have seen people emoting with the characters, loving the characters, and even small children, they really want to be this animated character that we have seen on the screen. And for me, as I take it, animation is one of the coolest art form. So with this, we start our webinar. One more thing, when you come into animation, or if you want to start animation, one thing you have to keep in mind, that is time and patience. You can go ahead in animation only if you have these two skills, because the skills which I'm going to discuss in this webinar or in these slides, it will all take time. And you have to be very patient enough. You have to be patient to learn these skills. Okay. So for all those people who really want to step into animation industry, we first have to understand that there are different areas of focus in animation industry. Only if we focus on these areas, then only we can set our path in working in these areas and building all the skills to really work in these areas. Okay, so let's see the areas of focus in animation industry. Okay, so these are the areas, these are the mainstream areas that you can see in animation industry. We have feature film animation, we have VFX animation, we have game animation, then we have MOGRAPH animation. This is a new term for beginners, I know. The meaning of MOGRAPH means motion graphics. And then we have TV animation. So we have to discuss, let's discuss about these areas so that you will understand. The first one is feature film animation. We have all seen these movies like Tangled, Moana, Kung Fu Panda, How to Train Your Dragon. All these movies, they fall under the category of fully animated films. And the studios they are made by the studios like Disney, DreamWorks, Pixar. So if you really want to go into feature film animation, you really have to search or research about what these companies, what kind of skills they ask for. And then you have to build those skills to work in these companies. So all these films, they go into this feature film animation category. Next, we have VFX animation. People always get confused with feature film animation and VFX animation. They both are separate things because feature film animation, as I discussed, it focuses mainly on fully animated films. But feature animation, it is a two-part thing. First of all, we shoot or we film the real actors in real set with a camera. We get that footage, which is called live action footage. We merge those footage with the 3D characters or 3D elements. It could be characters or creatures or the worlds. We merge them and we make VFX movies. Again, we have seen movies like Avatar, Lord of the Rings, Deadpool, Avengers. All the movies, they fall into this category of VFX animation. But if you ask me the skills regarding the VFX animation and feature film animation, at some point they both are different, because VFX animation, they basically focus on photorealistic creatures or characters or worlds. That is the main difference. Okay. So again, if you're focusing on VFX animation, then you have to build that kind of skills, which we will talk. Then comes the game animation. I don't think that I have to introduce game animation to all of you, because gaming is a very booming industry nowadays. From the teenagers to the adults, we all play games, at least in mobile phones. And with the rise of the companies like Ubisoft, EA, Blizzard Entertainment, these are big gaming companies that after every 5 or 6 years of hard work, they release all these games like League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Assassin's Creed. And again, gaming industry is, if we take the survey, gaming industries are making more profit than film industries, actually, because of the exposure. And one more thing, with game animation, we can talk about mobile games also, which is a separate area. So we have games for PCs or Xbox, and we have games for mobiles also. And again, the number of employees in game animation is less than that of a film or VFX animation. Next, TV animation. This is also a very popular area. And with the rise of this OTT platforms, we can see that more and more animation studios or VFX studios, they are making contents for televisions. It could be fully animated or it could be VFX oriented. Again, you can see that we have some TV series like Arcane, which was aired in OTT platform, and which is very popular because of its unique look. And it's a fully animated TV series. And we compare this Arcane with Lord of the Rings, which I think 90% of the world population, they have seen this Game of Thrones, which is made for feature film quality, but it is a TV series. So you can see the visual differences there. Again, this is an area where you can work, where the artists can work. And again, if we talk about the budgets, the budget of TV animation is less as compared to a feature film animation or a VFX animation. Then we can talk about MOGRAPH animation. MOGRAPH, as I told you, it means motion graphics animation. And MOGRAPH, we can see these kind of animations in commercials, which includes animations of products, text, abstract shapes, and designs. So all the advertisements where we can see mobile phone coming up, laptops coming up, and as you can see the advertisements of headphones or the car with some titles, or showing the specialty of the car with titles. All these things, they come under MOGRAPH animation or motion graphics. So these are the basic or the mainstream areas of animation industry, which a person, he or she can focus and build their skills to work. But apart from those main areas, we also have some other areas of focus. I'll just read it out. If you have doubts, the audience can always ask me. So since our webinar is more mainly geared towards 3D animation, so I'll be talking about 3D more. So let's take interior designing, architecture and engineering, stage shows, medicine, which includes scientific visualization, business, then military, aviation, automobile, education, then VR. VR stands for virtual reality, AR augmented reality, and MR mixed reality, which my friend Mr. Jose Malekal will take the webinar of this tomorrow. And then we have virtual production. So these are some other areas of focus where we can use 3D animations. So we have discussed about the main areas of focus in animation industry. Now let's different job profiles in animation industry. And my dear friends, the jobs in animation industry is totally depending upon the size of the studio or the pipeline the studio follows. The word pipeline means the logical step with which a studio makes their movies in a specific amount of time. So if it is a big studio, the pipeline will be big. If it is a small studio, the pipeline will be small. And depending upon the pipeline, the job profiles can increase or decrease. So I will talk about the common job profiles that we can see in every studio. Okay, so let's take studio management jobs. So first, let's start with director. We all know that the director is actually the leader of a film. It is the director's vision that all the other crew members are trying to achieve. And whenever you want to start in animation industry, you don't start as a director, because being a director will take years and years of experience. Okay, so director, producer, creative director. This creative director can take the role of art director also, who is going to decide what is the final look of the film. Okay, then we have associate producer, and the main job of associate producer is to schedule the meetings, send the emails to the artists, so that he or she can track whether everything is achieved as per the deadline. So these are the studio management jobs. These roles will be there for every kind of animation production that you want to do. And when I talk about the other job profiles, every filmmaking process, whether it is live action or animation, it consists of 3 stages. We have pre-production, production, and post-production. So now you can see that we have pre-production titles. Pre-production actually stands for the planning stage. So before making the actual movie, these artists with the director, they plan, because if they plan well, then only they can make the movies well. Otherwise, it will be a waste of time and energy. Okay, so pre-production job titles, it starts with the story artist. Story artists, they work really very close with the directors, and with the initial sketches, they try to come up with new ideas so that the stories can engage the audience. The stories can have entertainment. So story artists, he can sometimes be a storyboard artist also. And the main job of storyboard artist is to draw a sequence of graphic images. It's because when a director discusses the story with the crew members, almost 700 or 800 people are working in one production. So it is very important that all the artists should visualize the story in the same way. And that is the prime job of storyboard artist. He draws after getting the script, he draws every frame of a film so that the people can visualize that what is happening in that particular shot or in that particular scene. They have to draw thousands and thousands of drawings. It may look like comic strip. Then we have concept artists. Concept artists, they show the, they draw the initial designs of the characters or the environment, all the props. And these concepts will then taken by the other artists to do the production. And then we have character designers. Character designers, they get every detail from the director, and the director will give them a character profile, what this character is going to do, how he's going to look like, what are his hobbies. So this director will always give a backstory of this character. And depending on the backstory and depending on the details given by the director, the character designers, they draw many sketches of the character till they get the perfect design that can be used for animation production. So in short, all the people who really want to try pre-production job titles, they should be good in drawing, painting. And I can show you one example here. Can you all see my Disney Pixar Incredibles 2 screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you can see here that this is the official page of Pixar Animation Studios. And here, I hope that all of you have seen this movie, Incredibles 2. And if you have seen this movie, you can see this, we have a character design title. So this is the mother character in that film. She is one of the superheroes. And again, all these details will be given by the director to the character designer. And depending on those details, they have to come up with initial sketches. So if you're going to take up this position, you have to be very good at drawing. You should know anatomy and the proportions and how you have to observe real life. See, these are the sketches. So it is since it is a planning stage, you have to draw and draw and draw. So drawing and painting really go hand in hand in these kind of job profiles, in pre-production job profiles. Okay. And at the same time, we'll have environment designers, those who design the environment, the world where these actors are going to perform. You can see world design. So everything is designed before it was brought to life, or it is brought to life in production. Okay, so as you can see that we have sketches, and even people who have industrial design skills, they also work in this area. And again, you can see some props. These are designed by prop artists. So everything is designed from scratch. That is the main difference between live action and animation. In live action, we have the set, we have the characters. But in animation, the characters, the set, and the props, everything we have to start from the scratch. Okay. So you can see that everything is designed. It's a planning stage. Then we'll move towards the production job title. It is in the production stage, we actually make the movie. And it starts with modelers. So modelers are the modeling artists who take these 2D designs from the concept artists or from the character designers and convert them into 3D models. I'll show you a video here. So as you can see that they got the modelers, they got the design and they have modeled, and most of the models are gray in color by these modelers because that is a default color. And sometimes you can just put basic colors here and there, but modelers are the artists who really sculpt inside the software. Since it's 3D, everything is made inside the software. And again, you need the knowledge of anatomy, proportion, because modelers are going to model the characters, creatures, environment, props, everything. Then comes the texturing or shading artists. The job of texturing or shading artists is to add the colors or add the materials or add the shading to make the objects look more realistic. For example, if I want to make a person look a realistic human, just by simply modeling will not do. I have to add textures or colors or materials, then only he or she will look like an actual model, 3D model, or a colored model. Okay. After that comes the rigging artist or riggers. This is one of the most technical jobs in animation, and they are responsible for adding the bones or the controls with which the animators will animate the character. In real life, as we have bones inside our body, in the same way, you can see that the rigging artists, since it's a technical job, they add the bones or the controls. So again, you really have to have the knowledge of, if you're going to focus on this area, apart from basic rigging skills, you really have to have the knowledge of programming languages like MEL or Python. Okay. Then we have previs artists. Previs, the full form is pre-visualization artists. These artists will convert the storyboards into 3D for the first time. Sometimes these previous artists, they work after storyboarding. So it is in here, we can see rough animation. This is not a polished animation. The main job of previous artists is to understand the timing of the shot, the rhythm of the shot, the mood of the shot. Okay, here you can see that we have previous, and again, it is based on rough animation, mainly to get the timing. Then we have layout artists. So layout artists are really the people who set the stage for the animators to animate. And again, layout artists, they take the information from storyboard artists and previous artists and put all the assets. Assets means all the 3D models, could be characters, creatures, environment, or props. They take all the assets and they put in the software, and then the animators will start from there. And this is job of layout artists. They are like cinematographers. And sometimes they do the camera animation also. Here you can see that it is not at all a polished animation, but ultimately the animators will get the idea what they want to achieve, or what they are supposed to achieve in this stage of animation. Then comes animators. Animators are people who give life to the characters. They are the people who give life with their own acting choices. So if you take this shot, this character was animated by an animator. He took his reference in front of the mirror to really understand how the body moves, or how to show different kind of gestures. And again, when we talk about animators, these animators can be categorized into different areas. Like we have character animators who animate the characters. We have creature animators who animate anything that is not a human. It could be dinosaurs, Godzillas, dragons. And then we have prop animators who animate the props like vehicles and all. So again, it's continued. Next, production job, again, titles continued. Next, we have character effects artists. So character effects artists, they are responsible for all the effects which are not characters. And this may include the character cloth, hair, fur. All these are done by using the software. These are called simulations. We don't have to animate everything because the software will do it for us. We just have to understand the real world physics, how gravity works, all these things. As you can see here, that the character is added, the cloth is added after the animation. Then we have effects animators or FXTDs. The full form of TDs is technical director. They are not directors, but it is the name of the job profile. They are responsible for all the destructions, like real world physics, like or real world elements like smoke, explosion, air, water, wind, all these things, and sometimes fire also. Then from all this, after doing all this, the scene will go towards the lighting artist. Lighting artist will light up the scene. Again, it is done by using the 3D softwares, high-end packages, and they will get instructions from the concept artists, because concept artists will give them what is called a color key. Color key is a kind of small digital painting which is done inside the computer, or you can do manually. And this color keys will give the lighting artist a guideline. What is the mood of the shot, or what is the mood of that frame? And depending on this, and taking this as a reference, the lighting artist will light up the scene. And here you can see that this is how they light up the scene. Then we can talk about the game designers or programmers. This job is very specific towards gaming companies, and game designers and programmers, what they will do is they will take all the work that was done by these departments, and they will put those work or those assets, everything, all the data, into the gaming engine. One of the most famous gaming engine nowadays is Unreal Engine. So they will put all those data inside that gaming engine, and then they will do coding so that the animations can have a meaningful connections between them. Then we have motion graphics artists. These artists, as I told you, they work in commercials, and they also work in VR, AR, and they also get opportunities to work with different tech companies like Google, Microsoft, and Apple, to give a better user experience to the artists or the users. And finally, we have 3D journalists. 3D journalists are jack of all trades. They do all this work. They are the people who never focus anything, but they provide really a helping hand to all the other departments. And if you are aiming for a big studios, you really have to specialize in one single skill, one main skill. But if you are focusing on smaller studios, you have to be a 3D journalist where you can do everything. So these are some of the common job titles or production titles that you can find in animation studios. Now we have post-production job titles. First of all, we have rendering artists. So rendering means it's a process in which we get the data from the lighting artist, and then we process the image. We process, we put all the characters, environment, lights, effects, everything, and then we process a single image. We do 3D, but when we process them, it becomes 2D, two-dimensional. So that is called rendering, means processing the final image. So next step is compositors. What compositors they do is they take all the renders. Sometimes these compositors, they take different renders. For example, we can render a character and a background and a prop. And it is a job of compositors to combine everything to make a single image. Here you can see that we have a wounded actor, and some kind of pointy object has pierced from this actor. So the compositors, they have to combine those live action with this 3D element and make a frame of film. Then we have editors. Editors are film editors. Usually every company, they have 2 or 3 film editors, and they actually edit the movie in a meaningful way. Then we have VFX artists. VFX artists, they are responsible for so many things. One of the main job is to combine the real footage with the 3D element, which is called match moving. So if we have to talk about VFX artists, I have to take an entire webinar talking only about VFX artists. So I just want to tell you that they are there. Then we have stereo artists. Stereo artists, they make the movie the actual 3D, stereoscopic 3D. Most of the time nowadays, we used to wear 3D glasses. when we wear these 3D glasses, we can see that all the characters or all the environment, they come near to us. It is only possible because of this stereoscopic artists. So as you can see the example, so this is a trend now. Okay, so these are the common job profiles or positions that you can find in 3D or in the animation industry. Next, talk about the hierarchy. In every institution or in every organization, we know that there are different levels. So we should be always accountable to our seniors. In the same way, in animation industry also, we have different levels. You don't start in the animation industry as a supervisor. We start in the animation industry as a junior artist. So all the job profiles which I have mentioned here before, we have a junior level position. Then with some seniority, you go to mid-level, then senior level, then ultimately you become the lead, and then ultimately you become the supervisor. But this journey will take time, dedication, and hard work. Okay, so finally, some of you will think, what qualities do you need to be in this animation industry? I always tell my students and my friends that the first and foremost quality you need is you have to be passionate about this. Don't just come for the sake of getting money or because this field is booming up. Come in this industry only if you have passion, because passionate people, they create masterpieces. So you really have to be very passionate. Next is creativity. Creativity is something which a teacher can't implement inside a student. You can be only creative but if you observe real life. That is my next point. Because as Walt Disney said, creativity can be increased or can be developed only if we observe how real things work, how the world works. Only if we observe the real world, then only we can be more creative. Because with animation or with any other art form, what we are creating, we are imitating life. We can't recreate life, but we can imitate life, and we can imitate in a very entertaining way. Okay. Then patience, I already told you, patience is really important because all the skills which we have discussed will take time. Then hard work and dedication. You really have to be dedicated and work really hard to work on these big studios. You can really start from basics and really have a solid foundation and work your way up. Then self-motivation. Self-motivation, I really want to point out this area or this quality, because in animation also, sometimes after trying so much, we feel frustrated. And sometimes we feel that we can just leave this all and focus on something else. But if you have the self-motivation, if you have the courage to do this, if you have this motivation, you can really excel in the field of animation. So self-motivation is very important. Then finally, the leadership quality. When you join a studio, your leaders or your seniors will be there to help you. It's because they have leadership quality. The same way, when you become a senior most staff or senior most artist in a studio, you have to train your juniors and you have to lead them to achieve a specific task. So leadership quality is very, very, very important. Then let's see the skills required. So for doing any job, you need two types of skills. You need soft skills and you need hard skills. So soft skills will help you to mingle with everyone, to be in the team, but hard skills will really help you to do the job actually. So communication, if we talk about soft skills, communication, yes, you have to be very clear about your communication, because if you can't communicate your idea, then it is very difficult for the other members to follow. So communication is a very important skill. Then willingness to learn. Animation is a lifelong journey. And with this lifelong journey, it's a lifelong learning also. So with every passing year, new and new technologies will come. So you should have this willingness to learn. Then problem solving or solution oriented. Again, in this production or in real life also, you will come across with many problems. And in the studios also, every project is different. So you will face many problems. So you have to find solutions. You have to be a solution oriented person. to work in the team. Then presentation. Again, presentation skills are really important, because if you have an idea, you should be able to present it in a good manner to the seniors so that they can accept those ideas and implement them. And this last soft skill, I really want to give more importance, because language fluency. I have seen many artists who really have good hard skills, but because they lack basic English skills, it is very tough for them to work abroad. Because, my dear friends, we really have to understand one thing, that we are going to compete with international people. So English is a universal language. And if you don't have enough fluency in this, then it is going to be a hard time for you. So please really be fluent in English. Then now let's over to the hard skills. Hard skills means the skills that we really need to do our job. So first of all, learn your craft well, whatever be it is. If it is modeling, animation, rigging, whatever skill you want to focus, just be the best in that. And learn the skill always, because all the skills, they can't be mastered. And it is by practice only you can master them. Then drawing. Drawing also, people tend to leave drawing, but drawing is the best thing which you can adapt in your hard skills, because it takes too much time to really work in 3D technology. But if you have drawing skills, you can just draw your ideas and show it to your superiors or your friends. So drawing is really important. You can just be a good artist. You shouldn't be a very master in drawing. Just basic skills will do. Then mastery of the software. Mastery of the softwares. Again, softwares will come and go. But again, the software which the company uses or which the company recommends, if you know the software, then it is going to give you an upper hand to work in the studio. Then the last point, ability to adapt with in-house production tools. Every company, they have their own production tools. So if you can adapt yourself with that technology or with those production tools, again, you will be a valuable asset to the company. Now let's see the future challenges. As we all know that our world is changing day by day. In the same way, animation, the field of animation or the industry of animation is changing day by day. And we have only this option to embrace this change, because nowadays we can see that virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, they are coming up. They are already here. So till now, we have seen animations only in movies, TVs, and we have played games. And we have seen animations in YouTube or OTT platforms or in social media. But it all lacked one thing, and that is the immersive experience. We can't interact with these characters or these worlds. So it is only with the help of this upcoming or with this future technologies like virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality, we were able to immerse in that storytelling process. We can really communicate with the characters, and the characters can also communicate with us. We can really put those characters in our real world. And that is really a big thing. That is a future nowadays. And many gaming studios, many app development companies, they are accepting this change. Then comes the virtual production. Virtual production is the next future, is the future of filmmaking, because because of this COVID pandemic, all the big budget VFX filmmakers, they stood still because they were not able to shoot their films in this locations because of the COVID pandemic. But because of the virtual production, they were able to replicate those real life environments in a big space. They can just take a physical character, build a small set, and at the back, they can put big LED walls. And with the help of high-end CG packages or 3D packages, they can really make complex characters, environment, and they can really project those environments onto these LED walls. And when we look from the camera, we may feel that the physical actors, they are in that in a real world environment. It is only possible with the help of virtual production. And this is really a blessing. This future technology is really a blessing for all the filmmakers out there. Because for example, you can just take a physical character, you can really transport him to a desert, then to a forest, and then you can bring him back to his dining table. It is all possible with the help of virtual production. So that is the future now. And with this 3D technology, we can really do that. And when we talk about virtual production, we really have to talk about real-time rendering. It's because all this high-end 3D assets, they are made inside the computer. Earlier, to render one frame of a film, especially Disney films, it takes 24 hours. So any change they have to make, these artists, they have to make any changes in these frames, again, they have to re-render it. But with the help of real-time rendering, they say that what you see is what you get. So with this 3D high-end packages, we can really move the assets. We can really move the characters, virtual characters, or the props, or the worlds in that LED wall. And this is all happening. We can really change the angle of the camera or the intensity of lights. It is all happening in real time. And thanks to this future technologies, that it has creating a good impact to the audience. Next is machine learning. Machine learning is the application of artificial intelligence. And just take the example, earlier we used to take an image. If we have an image which is very blurry, which is not clear, we have to take these images in Photoshop, and we have to manually increase the brightness and remove all the noise. But with the help of machine learning or artificial intelligence tools, we can just load the image in an AI application, and just by adjusting some values, we can really make the images sharper and crisper, and we can increase the brightness also. So this is all the future challenge or future technologies which we have to accept it, because this is the future. And I really request all the audience to that please research about this, as these things are going to make a big impact in CGI. CGI means computer generated imagery in the world of 3D. So next, I would like to introduce you with my course, which I'm going to release through MFTI. The name of the course is 3D Animation Design. And with this course is mainly focused on the beginners. So the beginners will get the solid foundation in 3D. They will understand all the methodologies, good working habits that we can use in 3D. And they will also learn about 3D animation softwares. And the 3D animation softwares is the same software which are used in the big studios. So once again, I would like to tell you why this course is so unique. The main aim of this course is to help all the beginning artists so that they will learn what it takes to be a 3D artist. And the main reason why this course is so unique is that with this course, we are going to provide one-to-one mentoring. It's a 30 hours course, so nothing is pre-recorded. We are going to give you live critique. Everything is done live. And again, we are going to guide you to the right path so that after taking this course, you can specialize. You can choose your own path. As we have discussed, we have different areas of focus in animation industry. So after learning this course, you will be able to do that. And again, we'll also provide career counseling so that the students will understand how to go about it. Then we'll provide all the technical guidance regarding the software. And finally, we are going to help you in your demo reel preparation so that you can present your work in front of the clients and show to your friends, family, and this will help you to find a job. And what you will learn from this course. First of all, you will learn about the 3D production pipeline, all the stages, and how to, this is a software we are going to use, Maya. This is made by the company called Autodesk. So we'll be learning the proper workflows in Maya, how you can create 3D models, which you can use for games and films, how you can gather the reference for your models, how you can add the textures or add the materials by using Photoshop. You already know that. Then how we can add the lighting and rendering by high-end rendering app called Arnold, and some rigging concepts will also be taught. And then we'll learn how to animate from scratch and how to use FX. FX means the FX animation in Maya. Then how you can polish your portfolio. And by learning all the skills, you'll be able to prepare your demo reel. So this is what you will learn in that course. And as I told you, these are the softwares that we'll be using: Autodesk Maya and Adobe Photoshop. So, dear friends, with this, we come to the end of the webinar. If you have any question, you can ask in Q&A session. Thank you for listening to this webinar and have a great evening.
Thank you, Raul sir. Now we have a quick question and answer session. Please unmute yourself or type your question in chat box. There is one question from Subin Nelson. It's a direct message. Sir, can the course be done online?
Yes, it's an online course. As I told you, you can do this course anywhere, from anywhere, actually. So that's why we have introduced this kind of courses, because we want to help all the upcoming artists and we want to set the right path for them. So in short, you can do this course online. Please visit sjcc.ac.in/MFTI for more details about all other courses too. Everyone, please find some time for your valuable feedback. Link provided in the chat box. Is there anyone having any questions? There is one question here, sir. What's the best studio or companies for game development jobs? This thing you have to see. You can approach to gaming studios like Rockstar, Ubisoft, and EA Games, as they have all kinds of job for gaming. And for this game development, can you be more specific about your question? Game development, are you into more technical side or you are into more artistic side? Because technical side will include coding and all. You can just unmute yourself and ask the question. Artistic side, yeah, artistic side. That's what I said. As I discussed some common job profiles in this webinar, all these job positions will be there when you approach to a gaming studio. In Bangalore, we have Rockstar, and we have in Hyderabad, we have Ubisoft. So all these companies, they do have that. So first of all, you really have to understand in gaming animation or in gaming industry, which profile or job profile you would like to do, or you would like to specialize in. Just have a basic understanding of all the full pipeline. Then you can. It's up to you to really focus on the specific job. Okay. Environment artist. Environment artist, yeah, it's a very good job. And with in this environment artist, if you want to be an environment artist, you really have to have this modeling and texturing skills. So as for softwares, I can tell you, you can learn Maya, then sculpting softwares like ZBrush or Mudbox, and texturing softwares like Substance Painter. So these are the softwares that you can really master. But again, observe real life. Just observe the environment. What makes it so special, or what you can do, what unique thing that you can do as an environment artist. So it is very, very important that you observe real life, because ultimately you will be taking thousands and thousands of references from the environment to make it look realistic. Just log on to the website of Rockstar Games or Ubisoft and just look at the skill set that they ask, and then train yourself. First understand the whole pipeline, then train yourself specific to that position. So there is another question from
Mr. Unni, it's a direct message. Pipeline between animation and film.
You mean VFX film or live action film?
Unni, are you there?
VFX film.
Yeah. Please ask your question, Mr. Unni.
Yes, say VFX.
VFX. See, in case of VFX animation, which is, as I told you, it is totally different from feature film animation. Feature film in the sense animation feature film, because in VFX you really focus on realistic side of the animation. You have to have an understanding of how the real characters or creatures move, and on that basis you have to develop your demo reel, because it is not stylized, it is not semi-realistic, it is photorealistic. So you really have to observe. Let's take the dinosaur. We don't have dinosaurs in real world, so you can take the example or take the reference of some kangaroos or some Komodo dragon kind of creatures are there, and crocodiles. So you really have to understand the body mechanics and how they move, the animal behavior, which is very, very different when it comes to feature animation, which is more stylized. So we are going to caricature the movements, means exaggerate the movements in feature animation, and VFX animation we are not caricaturing. We are studying the real movement and we are using that in VFX. So there's a big difference in the animation skill also in VFX animation and feature film animation, feature film animation. I hope I answered your question. I'm getting some questions here also. A metaverse is a network of 3D virtual worlds focused on social connection. Yes, the opportunities for 3D artists is increasing day by day, as I told you, with the rise of the technologies like VR, AR, and virtual production and machine learning. It's an era of 3D. We have seen the movie called Terminator, where the machines are slowly taking over the humans. Actually, this is what is happening, because nowadays we can really replicate a human being, and we can get the realistic model of a human being to work in a film. It is very important. It is not possible for us to really understand the difference between what is real and what is not real. So the opportunities for 3D artists is increasing day by day. If I can't get a job in gaming, I like architecture visualization also. Yes, architecture visualization is a separate area, and I have friends who are making good money. Not only money, but they are very famous in doing this architecture visualization. And even, as I told you, with the help of VR and AR, you can take the client and go inside those buildings, and you can show them that what it would be like to be in that space. So again, yes, it's a very good path. Architecture visualization is a very good career path. You can be a visualization. You can be a visualizer, and yes, you can use these skills also in gaming industry, because gaming industry, they also need people who can visualize this architecture. And yeah, it is done by using Unreal Engine, because that is the current trend. And Unreal Engine is not only used for architecture visualization, but it is also used for filmmaking, live action, animation, then VFX, even news production also, and in gaming also. So it's good if you learn Unreal Engine, because that software has got too much potential. And recently we have this Mandalorian TV series, which was entirely made by using physical characters and with Unreal Engine, because all these 3D assets have been projected on this LED walls. And it is very cost effective also, as compared to shooting in a real environment, because the filmmakers, they don't really have to depend upon the lighting and all, because everything can be set inside a big space. again, difference between Unreal and Unity. See, both of them are gaming engines. Unreal and Unity, both of them are gaming engines. But Unity is more geared towards 2D and 3D and AR and VR. But Unreal Engine, I have seen people making massive 3D work, are doing massive 3D work in Unreal. So there's a big difference in the pipeline of Unity and Unreal. But both of them can be used in the same way also. But with this virtual production is mainly geared towards Unreal. Then,
so it's time to conclude.
Yeah, I have one more question. Can you please tell me more about 3D and AR and VR? Yeah, it's a current trend, but I think to get more understanding about this subject, you can join my colleagues, Mr. Jose Malikal's webinar tomorrow, as he's totally into AR and VR. So he will give you more insight into that. Okay, but again, that technology is vastly used in the entertainment industry. Okay.
Thank you, Davulsa. It's a really valuable session for all of us on 3D animation. It's well informative about each aspect you shared with us today, especially different job titles, qualities required, skills required, future challenges, etc. We have two 30-hour live interactive online certificate course based on 3D animation. It's 3D animation design and advanced 3D animation design. It's purely live interactive classes. Everyone, please find some more time for your valuable feedback. Link provided in the chat box. Thank you all for attending our webinar series, Career Orientation webinar series in Media and Entertainment, especially the faculty pillars of MFTI. We hope you enjoyed it, and special thanks to St. Joseph College of Communication Management, especially our Executive Director, Father Anthony Athakar, our Principal, Father Joseph Parakal, for immense support. Thank you all once again. See you next day. Thank you.